There should be outlets. There should be outlets right on the, so that gate, you could open that.
Wait, so you could open the gate and what?
You could open the gate. Sorry, you could open the gate on the back side, close to the houses.
Yeah.
And there should be outlets right underneath it there. Yeah, you can use that. I don't know if they're on. They might, there might be on.
Wait, you got that? There's a chance. I'm like, oh, yeah. The workers came and today and they were like, oh, is this damage from Saturday or?
Oh, right, I'm gonna call the order of a meeting of the Parks and Recreation Committee for Monday, July 16th.
Jennifer Bonte?
Here.
Emily Spahn?
Here.
Trustee Cody Bratton? Here. Ted Henry? Not here. Derek Look? Not here.
All right, start with public comment. No one here, no one online. We will go to the reports. The report I had was a great job by the Public Works facilities getting everything cleaned up this morning. It was a disaster. I was walking around at 6:30 like, this is bad. When I came home tonight or this afternoon, that was like a totally different town. Good job. Please send my regards to other staff. It's much appreciated because that area that like we live in down there, it seems like every time there's wind,
Always Park Street,
it's nasty. So
which. Price is not really, but someone's like, is it because of the bluffs? Because it can't,
So Cody was saying.
you know, like
today,
it's coming and it can't get up the
heat
bluff.
just fits in.
that's my theory. The heat, heat comes off the sides of those hills and goes up in the atmosphere, which makes it more unstable.
I will definitely pass that along. I know brush is one of their least favorite jobs, so I feel like every storm they've had have been huge. They've just been doing brush, and like days like today, it's so hot too. So
Drink some water for time to cool off. That's what I've got. Do you guys have any reports?
I will just say that as a parent and also a committee member, I had a kid take a pickleball class and he loved it. I would love it if it ran even longer. It felt like it was super short, and I know we had at least one cancellation for weather. And I know it's kind of like easy to stop it at because of the 4th.
yeah,
But I mean, I think that those kids would love going for like all of June and July if it was offered.
Okay.
So I thought
Yeah.
it went really well. That was his first time taking it.
Who's coaching?
so Jake Leslie and Sam Kepi. You know Sam? Sam's great. So Sam has his own little kickers programs, soccer program. That's like his full-time job. That's how I got to know him. His mom lives in town here, and he was like, "Hey, I'd love to come. You teach pickleball to the kids." So he's helped with it as well.
And is there like a little peg league or anything?
We don't have one currently. Could be something that we add.
I mean, I think that would be fun, especially because if you don't have a friend that does it, right, it's not always easy to find someone to play with. And
Yeah.
so it might be kind of a cool opportunity for kids who are interested, kind of like the adults.
Yeah, sounds good.
So,
Even if it's just like a little drop in, or
yeah,
you know, kids can come during this time, like if it's free, even just a playtime scheduler. And if we had one adult there,
Kid time only.
maybe one adult there to like chaperone, but make
It's
it
just more
make
fun
it
for
more
kids
so they get
to
out
play
to
with
do it.
kids.
Yeah. All right. I'll add that to our list.
So now that we're out, I just started asking a bunch of
You sure can.
random things. Would you probably have your update, the Brewery Trail, what's going on with the Brewery Trail?
Yep.
And I'm calling it Brewery Trail, people get very sensitive, sidewalk.
Yeah. No,
I'm gonna
yeah.
Brewery Trail.
Yeah, so the trail, when the company constructed it, they didn't come and actually pack it down in the few spots along there, which is pretty much the whole thing. So obviously it took some time, but all of the areas that they didn't compact sagged. And so we had even this winter we had areas that were kind of bumpy like that. So they came back it's obviously under warranty, so they came back and redid it. And I'm actually impressed with what they did. Most companies in this sense, they would cut the blacktop in the areas that were sagged and compact it and put down new blacktop. That gives you a cold seam, but that could have been something that they did. Instead, they took it out from concrete to concrete, concrete to concrete. So I'm kind of surprised and impressed that they're going to do the whole thing first. So that's great. So it'll be, new warranty as well. Warranty period should start over again for that area. And it should be nice. I feel bad for the homeowners that are all there because they obviously had a whole summer of construction, in the grass, and now it's all constructed again. So we'll have some vehicles, but at least, it's being done at no cost to the village. So it should be great. Yeah. Yep.
What about the last few meetings ago, we talked about trail lights in Xander Park. Maybe had a little failed experiment trying some Amazon solar lights. And so I wanted to know if there was any conversation about what next.
So we did buy a few of those small ones that we put up. We put them up on the actual sides. So they were on the areas that had railing. What we found is that the sun didn't hit it enough to keep them on. We only did 4 of them to start just because we want to put a bunch of holes in the railing as well, because that's how we were trying to figure out what's the best way to get them up. So the second time we did it, we put them up on the railing part, thinking we might get more of the sun to hit them, and it just didn't help as much, or it still didn't put off enough light. So kind of back to the drawing board on that, on like figuring out. There are larger ones, that have like bigger solar, like battery or solar. Solar panel, like a small solar panel above them, kind of shine down more. Could be something we, look into or trying, but so yeah, we have not looked at anything else or looked to try and do anything else. We still have those lights. We thought about maybe putting them up on a pedestal more. If we had a piece of wood that was a little bit higher than those, we just have to keep working on, or to keep looking at it further.
So is the reason it wasn't getting enough sun because of like the current vegetation, or
no? I think it's the railings themselves. They just block too much of the sun. The way that because it's just a small little panel, that sits on top of that light. I think it needs to be up more or out there. So I don't know. I mean, we'll try something. We're gonna continue to try that. I just ran into summer and it's been hectic. So, but good question.
And I guess, you'll have an aquatics program for that. So I can say any questions or comments that I wrote down for that.
Like,
so so when you were like the after school program,
yeah,
I know you have a lot of, or there was a point in time when we had kids that were enrolled that needed some additional attention, and there didn't seem that there was enough. Maybe that whatever the ratio is of supervision to the student or child would have been, maybe need more supervisors. And actually, I witnessed something at pool where it was kind of a similar situation, and it was just like a sampling in time. So I'm not saying that that's common, but I was asking some of the parents. Like, there was maybe one particular swimmer who needed maybe he missed his scheduled time and needed some extra attention. And what that ended up doing is we were almost like guard short. Then you have like 2 guards, one guard who's like dedicated to this kid, saying to make it a really good experience for what he needed, but then all of a sudden they were like short other guards. And I didn't know if that was something that I asked, like, is what time of this has happened, or
it is that I know of, and I know exactly what you're talking about. That person was signed up for an 11:40 a.m. class or 11:10 a.m. class, and they came to the 6:15 time slot, which is the same time as the other child. Normally when somebody is asking, they'll ask ahead of time, or they'll say, my child has XYZ or has an IEP. We need more help with that. If that were to happen, we always schedule them with a one-on-one. It's like a tiny tot class for us. So we used to do that. There's a number of kids actually that used to be a part of that type of programming. This parent didn't know about that, and we didn't really advertise it. So that I have that written down actually as something that we should advertise in our book. Like, if you need more help, please let us know. And don't be scared about it. Because I think maybe sometimes parents are like, you know, shy about it or don't like to ask those sorts of things. So this parent actually called me and said, hey, the day of the class, saying, hey, we may need some more help. And I said, well, that's great. And we need to know this more ahead of time so that we can schedule staff accordingly.
Yeah.
So she was planning not to be a part of the program, and then showed up that night, and everyone was in chaos. So how do we do this? And one of our pool coordinator was like, our swim lesson coordinator was like, it was chaos. It was like absolute chaos. And she said that it was only chaos for that class or for that time, but she was then scheduling another person that we had for Tiny Tots. I wasn't doing a Tiny Tot to take on that person. So that's what we ended up how we solved it. But obviously being proactive for parenting helps us immensely in that regard. And that's what we've been able to forecast and show. So like, for instance, we had that same request for the summer. So we ended up having to hire someone with more skill sets to help with that. So we're hemorrhaging money in that regard. However, it's a service that we want to be able to provide for the people. So we're just going to find other ways to try and cut, some of the other expenses that we have. So
would you be able to market it as like adaptive swim lesson, or like
we could,
or you just don't want to advertise it because you don't want
you could get overloaded with it. I mean, even if someone comes and they showcase that they have an IEP, we have to provide the same service to them as we would anyone else. And we'd want to do that. The area that we have struggled with, though, is do we have staff with the correct understanding or knowledge or training to get there. So we do, that's how we actually have a position now for the rec side of things. Like, that's what you have to have, A, B, and C. In swimming, I've never come across where they actually even have class training for adaptive type programming. There has to be, right, you have something.
But I don't think
right. There isn't, yeah. So we've always taught it like a Tiny Tot program, a one-on-one lesson, which does cost us more, obviously, but it's worth it. So yeah, we have had those. So normally parents are, and I would say almost, for all the kids that we've had in that type of programming, parents are always proactive with us about it. They usually even write it on their, registration form or put it in there, but she didn't have it. So, but she did talk to us about it afterwards. So, and she would like to know more about things that she could do in the future, like more classes that they could do. So, yeah. It's funny that you were there, or not funny, but yeah.
And I was like,
the one night.
anyway,
Yeah. I heard everyone was running around. It was, it's kind of chaos. So I heard it's better though. Like on Wednesday night, that was the Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday. So that Thursday was really good. Like, class went well. So yeah. No? Oh.
I don't know.
You guys hear probably more than I do. Oh, good for them. Anything else? For sure. All right. My report, I've written down. All right, parks wise, one area that we have been working with public facilities, mainly because we have to use their equipment, is getting wood chips in our playgrounds. And obviously with all the brush activity that's been going on. So what we need is a skid steer to be able to load our slinger, and we pull the slinger with the tractor. So both of those machines need to be out of service so that we can use them. So we hadn't been able to do that. We were able to get our first load of wood chips in today. at Hofelder Park. So I think there'll be a lot of happy people out there. It was in really bad condition. So, and we kept getting calls about it. No, waiting, trying to get the chips, trying to get a time. And of course, they did brush last week, put on the schedule that we'd have the skid steer and the tractor today. And then we had the big storm last night. So they needed the skid steer. So then we had to rent another skid steer today because the chips were getting dropped off at 7 o'clock this morning. So 120 yards of chips got delivered and we got them in at Hofelder and Cedar Glen Park. So we got 2 parks done. We obviously have 8 more to go. So we'll be continuing to try and do this throughout, the week or the next couple of weeks to try and get that completed. We had a slide issue at the pool. The platform that people stand on at the pool actually broke away. So Jeff, with our public facilities department, give him props. He welded an all new support system for it, painted it, put Rust-Oleum on it, and then painted it again. It looks awesome. It really kept it up. And give them props. That would have cost us. I mean, they don't even make that platform anymore. So last time I had to go to Springfield Corners and have them weld me an entire new platform, new steps. Then I had to take it over to the truck company on the east side and have them dip it so that it would, stay within the conditions and not be slippery. So he saved us a ton of money by
Did you
doing
take a
that. So,
picture to add to our
yeah,
document?
of all those things that are going wrong. Yeah. Let's see, the mountain biking was approved by the village board. So Scenic Valley will have some new mountain biking. At least we'll have the single track being added over the next year or so. There's no funding currently put forward, but we may ask for some capital over the next couple of years to help with that process and some grants that we're looking to write. So Ron and I are actually meeting first week in August to try and get on the same page and we have our new memorandum of understanding put together. Just added Scenic Valley and then anything that they wanted. So good. We did have our dedication for Norm Messer Memorial Shelter last Sunday, I'm sorry. It was great. The family all showed up. Cody, thanks for coming as well. It went really well. Did it right before the home talent game. So 3 of the grandchildren were actually playing against Cross Plains for Middleton Cross Plains. So it was pretty cool. We do that. And now it's the dedication's done. We'll have a sign that's coming in August that the family's paying for. It's a bronze sign that kind of states what Norm did and has a picture on it. And then we'll have a new street sign up there too. I thought street sign would be perfect since he's for public facilities for so long. I care so much about that. So let's see. Rec wise, the summer's been great. I mean, in general, programs have really been rocking. We've only had to cancel a couple of them based on attendance. So for the most part, everything in our guide is really running, which is, kudos to Jill and kudos to Matt for finding out what the community really wanted. We're working on the fall and winter activity guide right now and hope to have that out. What's the date? Hope to have that out by August 15th, August 20th is like our date that we're shooting for. So get it out before people get back to school and find out that they have all these problems with their schedules. But overall, like Jill has been doing a fantastic job with the full day camp. The number of IEP kids that we have in that program is it's a lot. There's at least 5 kids I know of for sure. She's been a godsend in that regard since she does have that training and understanding. And we've probably been a little overstaffed from time to time, but I told them I'd rather be overstaffed in the first summer than understaffed. So we're trying to, keep kids getting hours and have them all kind of understand a little bit more about what's going on with all these kids too, and trying to, keep them all included in everything that we're doing, which has been great. The pool, we've had a few closures, obviously, based on swim meets and obviously weather. We did have a request from people about like a common way to get a hold of them to let them know that all these are going to be canceled. I try and send out an email, to everybody, letting them know like, hey, the pool's gonna be closed on this date. I'm trying to do it like a week ahead of time or so. It's not always getting out to everybody though. So we're also trying to put it on our website and Facebook. Those are like those are kind of the places we always try to choose. But we have received a number saying like, we showed up there and the pool was closed, what's going on? We do also put things on the door or on the kiosk if we're able to, but it's just, I thought email would be the easiest and best way, but it's not getting to all of them. The text from text.gov, yeah.
Maybe we should, just put it on Facebook a couple times, like interested in receiving village texts, because I think I was just talking to like Noelle and I said something about, oh, I got a text, and she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you don't get the text from the village? And she's like, what are you talking about? So like, I feel like there was kind of a push to sign up for that when it first started, but now it maybe hasn't been mentioned, and there probably aren't people that realize it, so I'll make that make a cute little graph.
Yeah, she's good at
I'll
that.
sign up for text, because there are people that maybe don't even realize that's an option. I have the profile photo saved as the classmates pictures. Oh, it's the village texting me.
It's a good thing. Yeah, because there's probably people that are at hundreds that are a member that don't have a membership that just go.
And there are a lot of people that aren't. And so it's almost like we have them write down their email or something at the desk when they do show up for, because we've been getting quite a bit of daily fees, like anywhere from like $200 to $300 a day for daily fees, which is pretty high. And our attendance record or our memberships is right where we were last year. So I think in general, we're actually having a pretty good budget year. Bobby hasn't given us our update yet for June, but once we get that, I'll have a better understanding, at least for the expense report. The revenues look great.
I also just think, we live in such a world that like, if it's something immediate, people aren't checking their emails, you know, like there's constantly the text back. So, like, you need to let something.
And it's like nights like tonight, you know, the pool closes and maybe I wasn't here, or, you know, like the managers don't have access to the village Facebook page. So they can send out an email to everybody that has a membership, but that's it, you know. But it's just like finding a better way to, you know, like days that we close, you'd think people just wouldn't go to the pool either, you know, if it's lightning or it's thunder, you know. But
And that's the obvious,
yeah,
right? But like,
right.
some randos shouldn't be in the middle of the week.
Right,
you know,
those are the ones.
any-
But those are the ones we have, like if they're scheduled already, we have been sending out emails and stuff.
Oh, sure.
But people that were coming for free night, which was Tuesday, you know, they didn't get that because they don't have memberships. So how do we, you know, it's like our area that I've always said, I wish it was just easier or better, but it's been struggling. So we'll keep trying. Keep trying new things. I think that's it. The Parks and Open Space Plan, I've been trying to update. I have a lot of new information in there, like new things that are happening, things that we want. The one area that I'm really struggling with though is how they figured out all the data. So like, you know, how they got to the parkland dedication fee, how they broke those numbers down. That was done by Vanderwall, so I'm probably gonna have to send them some info to be like, hey, you're gonna need to help me update this. So we may be spending some money on that plan as well. But I mean, if I can get everything else updated and bring it to you for approval, then they should be able to do the table. So yeah, right. So yeah. Any questions at all? I'm going on vacation next week. I'll be gone the entire week and then back for a few days and then gone another couple of days. But overall, Matt, Jill, and Dane will be running the show. So, and we're getting a new village administrator at some point. I am not the interim this time. Bobby is actually our interim. So great. Yeah. Absolutely. So, you got anything else? You can ask. You sure? All right.
Move on to discussion possible action to approve the minutes of April 15th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 15th, 2020.
I will second.
So a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding the pool feasibility study for the Cross Plains Pool.
Tonight, we just need to make the motion that Anna made the motion, that
Yeah, so obviously you're all here, which, usually Jed's new and we'll have that whole conversation. We can make that motion or discussion, but yeah, obviously we all heard. I think the best course of action would be to do a resolution. So if we could get someone to make a recommendation, to seek a resolution to the village board to place the new pool at 3,000 Evergreen Parkway would be what the pool feasibility committee was really searching.
Okay, give me this. So then, I would like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion based on the recommendation for the pool feasibility subcommittee to approach the village board to pass a resolution. Earmarking 3,000 Evergreen Parkway as the address for the new pool.
Motion, do I have a second? Right, motion and a second, any further discussion?
No.
No,
I think the only other thing you could add is, working on a timeline of some sort, or even coming up with like how much money we'll have for this program. It should be, that doesn't have to be in the resolution, however, that can be something that's added later, but it's something that the pool feasibility committee and park and rec committee are gonna need to start making some other decisions based upon this pool being located over here. So, and I think everyone understands that. And I will vocalize that, I think, to the board as well, about, what the committee is gonna need to succeed. We can't just have committee meetings to have meetings, knowing that we need a new pool, want a new pool. But without direction from the village board on, the actual date that this could happen, without how much money, we're planning to set aside for this project, it's really hard to do it. I would love to even see us get to more of a place where the plan is here. This is the plan for this place. It's not changing. I mean, there may be a few little things that change, but this is what it looks like. And this is what we're going out to the community with to say, hey, we're fundraising for this. Would you like to help? Would you like to donate towards it?
If you start fundraising, I thought we would take a picture. So yeah, we just build a new pool. Here's $100.
Right.
It's impossible. So, but I think those are some steps that we're going to have to get, information from the board on. The date that they feel that this is feasible is key for us to work back from, like I talked about at the other meeting, but we need to be able to work backwards and understand there may be some large fundraising tasks ahead, or some things that we plan ahead, that these are going to be earmarked and put towards our new pool.
Well, and I also think before we start fundraising, we need to figure out, like when Cassie's like, I'm gonna have a brick with my name on it at the pool, like people like to donate things because they think they're gonna get their name somewhere. They're gonna get a brick or they're going, so like, I think we need to figure out like donation levels and what that means. So we're not just aimlessly asking for money, because yes, you're getting a new pool, but there are people that would like to be recognized in some way.
I'd agree.
What it's gonna be.
And I think the subcommittee in general could or the park and rec committee, but the subcommittee could come up with that plan, to bring forward to the subcommittee, to bring forward to the village board for approval in regards to, here's what we're thinking about, if you have different levels, right, of sponsorships or advertising, whatever you want to say. But I think we need, and that could be something we work on very soon too, right? We're coming up with that plan, but having that date and or the overall cost that the village is putting in for this will really help with that. Because we'll know, do we need, is the village board willing to name this, the Emily Spahn Memorial Pool, providing she gave $500,000 for it, or, are there different parts of that they'll agree to.
What's that work, like the fundraising campaign, basically?
Yeah.
I mean, because I could see even the board saying, here's the 3 different ways we could do it. Option 1, the village puts in this, we look for grants here, this is how much fundraise, like, you know, like the buckets can shift around.
Yeah,
And base, so, I mean, how do we get to
to
that?
that point, I think we're gonna have to provide the board with that type of information. This is what we're looking for. Do you agree? You know, I don't see them being proactive in this regard to be like, well, if they come up with a strategy on how they're gonna fundraise X amount of money, then we will support X amount of money. I think we have to come with them saying, all right, here is our hierarchy of like, if you donate X amount, you get this, you know, like this is our fundraising plan.
So we
What do
still
you
need
think?
not much in that bucket, right? Because we're not experts, I don't know what assistance is available to us, you know, I don't know any of those details.
Grant money will not, we won't do well with grants on this type of project usually,
Yeah.
Well,
see, that's
especially in our demographic and where we're at.
I
It
guess-
would be tough. This is an amenity, you know. It is for us, but
So I guess my other question is, Sarah keeps joking about like if we have some, guy that's gonna donate $1 million, is the amount that the board is going to approve, is that regardless of what is fundraised? So like, let's say we do have somebody that comes in is gonna donate $1 million. Is the board gonna be like, oh, I guess we don't have to pay $1 million now? Or is it whatever this is the amount that they're going to give, everything else is added on top of that? I think that is something that maybe needs to be clear because.
Well, I would think that what would be smart is if, say you did a fundraising campaign, the board, the way I would see it is the village is gonna pay to build the facility, put everything in. So let's say, fundraising effort gets $275,000. And we knew we were gonna spend $150,000 of that on bleachers, shade, whatever, put it into like some sort of a fund for air park improvement fund, right?
which we have a pool improvement fund.
So.
Yep.
So like the village is gonna pay what they pay and
I think, because you can't really, the way I see it, you can't really rely on fundraising, right? Because you can't be like, all right, it's a $7 million project, we're gonna raise $500,000, village is gonna pay 6.5. It can't, like,
I
hopefully
agree.
you can raise $1 million, hopefully you can raise 2 million, and then just improve.
That's my thing is the improvement. I just wouldn't want them to come back and say like, well, you guys raised way more money than we thought, so now we don't have to pay.
Yeah, I think ideally we would ask the board, we feel that this is gonna be a $6 million project. Is that feasible for you? At what year is that a feasible project, right? I think that's the key for everyone to know. And you let them come back to us with what they'd like to see in regards to fundraising. And then it may be going back and forth, right, at that point.
I just worry about
but-
the one member that thinks that this one team's gonna raise half. of the
Right.
money. It's not gonna happen.
Right. And that's one member, and I think no matter what, I do believe at the time, that we start talking money and we start talking this project, we need people to fill these seats, period. People that want this project. And I'm not even saying it in the sense of like, it's not like I'm trying to scare the board. I just want people to be here that would be like, we do believe in this project. We do believe in this community. We want to see this, because if they're not, I could see that being our biggest problem rather than the board system functioning. So, and bring out the people that may not want to approve this project too. It's good to have that conversation about, what they agree with and what, that may be how we come up with a number, so.
But it doesn't need to be a yes or no.
No,
Like, there's-
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's democracy. Let's have some
Middle.
conversations. Yep. So, but yeah, good. I got the recommendation. We'll look at the resolution aspect. Yep. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just making sure we didn't screw it up. So we're in a discussion. Okay, so all in favor of sending this resolution to the village board, say aye. Aye.
Right.
All opposed, no one opposed, motion is carried.
So I don't have it on here, but one thing I'd ask, are there any other items or things you'd want on the committee agenda in the future? Or if there are, just remember to send me an email, and or Cody.
I replied to your email.
Oh, did you?
And then-
Oh, so normally I send him a draft agenda to say, hey, is there anything else you'd like to add? So if at any time any of you want anything on here, feel free to email. Get it. I just I'm running out of other things that I may want on there for motion, but even if it's just discussion purposes, that's fine. And I know we kind of do that sometimes in my report or, during your reports, but if you want to see more discussion on it, we can, or even change something, we can always have it on there as a discuss change. All right.
One last thing, and this is just, I know I made the motion earlier to approve the minutes from April 15th, but I think what I intended to do is make a motion to approve the minutes from May 20th.
Did I have the wrong? Oh, I have the wrong date on there.
Is that, can I amend that?
We'll bring it back next time.
Okay.
I'll bring the minutes back for both of them next time. Sorry about that.
Any further discussion?
So I guess I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Motion carries, meeting adjourned.